Alright, welcome to the next part, and I found some problems, to be honest, that we need to fix first. I don't know if you know me from a VMO channel or somewhere else, but I always try to show the problems that I have in the scene or to share it with you guys as well, because you might run at some point into the exact same problem that I did here, and then you know how to fix it. So this is why I never try to polish my videos too hard or cut them too hard, because I also want you guys to see that every little artist, doesn't matter how long he is in the business, makes mistakes over and over again. And then you just simply need a way and see how to fix them. So in this case, as you can see, what we did was we did here draw some lines, or did some loop cuts here to make this fit here a little bit better. The problem now here is that those lines running exactly down here to our hole, and now we have here more than 8 points altogether, and this means if we pull this into the subdivision surface, we don't have a perfect circle anymore. So we definitely need to get rid of this, and the way to do this is pretty simple. So we just simply go plane, select our plane, and then we go into poly mode, and then we'll learn a new tool, and this is just simply called just a second, let me see here something. Okay, let's pull it out of the subdivision surface, and let's just simply start over here, and let's select those two, and then we do a right click and click on melt, and then we select those two, and then we click on melt. And what's happening is that two polygons just simply become one again, and this is exactly what we need here. So we select those two, just simply hold down your shift key, select one, then hold down the shift key, select the second one, right click and melt, and we do exactly the same over here, and whoop, wrong tool, and click on melt. And now we do the same thing over here, just over and over again, melting away. And let's fix this down here as well. Okay, perfect, looking good to me. That's pretty much perfect. And now we need to fix it up here as well. So let's select those two, melt. Oh, did I click on disconnect? Hopefully not. Let's just go back a few steps, melt. Or you can just simply use the shortcut U set. So if I click U and then I click set again on my keyboard, it should melt. U set, yes. I think this is a little bit more complicated than just simply doing a right click. So use set on the keyboard, select those two, use set on the keyboard. And there we have it. But we also need to do it down on the phone as well. What we could do, what would save us some time probably, is just simply go select loop selection. And as you can see here, we have a problem as well. We will fix this later on. Let's just simply go select loop selection, and let's just simply delete the extrusion that we did so far, because this will save us some time. We can extrude later on again if we want to. And down here we just simply need, let's just go to the downside, go to rectangle selection. Make sure that only select visible elements is turned on, and let's try not the top view, we need the, which view do we need? We need the bottom view. And then we select all of this and just simply hit delete. And now we should only have the front view. No, did delete the wrong side. So let's change this back to top maybe, and now let's delete this here. And now we have the right thing, okay. And let's delete also this extrusion here. Loop selection, loop selection, loop selection. And also this here. Perfect. And we go up here, delete all of this. And this here. Perfect. And then we just simply go into point mode, hit Ctrl A, optimize, and all our points are gone. This is exactly what we want. Okay, so the points here are still there. Okay, maybe I didn't make the change here, so let's select just those two. Click on melt. Melt. We could have done this in the first place, I guess, just to simply delete the extrusion. Then it would have saved us some work, but doesn't matter right now. Really doesn't matter. At least you know now what the melt command does. also comes in pretty handy. And as you can see here we have still a little bit of an overlapping, which is not good. So we go into point mode, select this point here, and just simply move it a little bit away from here. And I think I did hit some kind of button. Now the axis is not sticking to the point anymore. I had this problem before. I'm not sure what I did click instead of melt. What else can you? Disconnect, clone, array, split. Maybe it was some kind of shortcut. So if you have this problem as well, maybe at some point that the axis is not sticking to your point anymore, but to your camera, I don't really know how to fix it, to be honest. I just talked to a friend before. He had no clue whatsoever as well. So the best way we can fix this is just simply take this here, go edit, copy, just select those two, or just the plane would be enough. Edit, copy, file new, edit, paste, and everything should be back to normal again. This is how you can trick Cinema 4D sometimes if you're running into some problems. Sometimes you also have to reboot your complete computer if something is not working anymore and then try it again. This is just how it is. There's not much we can do about it. Those 2 points down here on the circle we need to delete as well, because otherwise it might still look messed up. And here those points we need to delete as well, so we don't need them anymore. And now we'll show you another tool. Even thought we could just simply melt this here, but I just simply want to show you another tool. I want to delete those points here as well, so let's just simply delete them. And this point, I think, yeah, that's just fine. And then this one here. No, not this one, that's not good. What we also could do, we could start bridging. So let's do a right click, click on bridge. What you can do is just simply select those 2 points, and then select the next 2 points, and we can just simply go bridge. Hit 2 times the spacebar to get rid of the selection, and then we can just simply draw this over and over again. And we could do the exact same thing over here. So let me just delete this here, and this here, and this here, and then we go. First of all, Control A, optimize, right click, bridge, and then we can just simply start bridging, double spacebar, and then, oh, sorry, let's do it like this, easier. And then we have our perfect polygon flow again. Okay, so let's drop in a subdivision surface. Let's set this here to 3 maybe in the subdivision editor, and let's drop in the plane. And let's see how this looks. Okay, we still have a problem here, so we need to fix that. Let's go back to our top. And here we don't have the background image anymore, which kind of sucks, to be honest, because we have a new scene. So I will just simply load this again and try to bring this here a little bit into place. First of all, I have to check. Okay, 643 and 568 that it used in the X and Y for the size. So I have to give in the exact same values again. 643 was it, right? Yeah, I think so. Okay. And as you can see, we still have some problems here. So this is not working yet, but we will try to make a few more cuts in another direction and try to fix this point this time without destroying our circle down here, of course. So what we'll do is just simply what you also can do, by the way, is go configure back, and you can make this background a little bit more transparent if you're not seeing so much. So as you can see, something like that. I still see the phone, I still see the outlines, but I just simply can see my model way better than before, and this is also important. So what I could try to do is just simply try to make another cut here. So let's go loop, get rid of the restrictor selection. And let's make a cut here and a cut here, and let's see how much possibilities we have now to change this here, to make this still round again. Let's just simply move this out a little bit, and let's move this out as well. Looking pretty good so far. Okay, and let's move this in a little bit and a little bit downwards. Yeah, and I think we can do it like that. We can do it. Looking good, looking good. Perfect. Sorry for my enthusiasm. Sometimes it just simply jumps out of me and I need to scream. Yeah, that's just the way it is. Really sorry about that. Okay, let's move those points a little bit more in. And let's maybe try to Make this here not so round, and let's move this here a little bit more downwards, this here a little bit more upwards, and I think we get the perfect shape that we are after. Looking pretty good so far. Okay, we have to do the same thing on the other side as well, since we're not modeling in symmetry mode anymore. So we go knife, make a cut here at, I don't know, let's say exactly in the middle between those edges, and then we'll just simply try to smooth this out here. Smooth it out, bring this down a little bit more, bring it in, a little bit more upwards, a little bit more right. Okay, and we start to getting our shape, and it's looking pretty good, I think. I think we are good to go. Maybe there's a little bit more outwards, something like that. Okay. Okay, so this time we have the lines on this side, and we still stay full quartz here, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice, and it's exactly what we want. And as we can see, we also don't need to fix a lot here on this side. Maybe only push this point a little bit more downwards, so it's not so close to this point, and maybe change around this point a little bit. Maybe try to push this here a little bit more upwards now. I think I just have to simply push these points here a little bit more down than this point, then this point to get the shape again, and then push this outwards again. Just slightly, come on, don't be nice, be nice. Okay. Most of the time it's just really moving points around, probably a lot, most of the time. That's not really, I mean, this is just the way it is. There is not really much you can do. Let's check the other side, if we have here anything messed up. Yeah, here it's really messed up. I have no clue why. I think I just simply did align this to the wrong line on the left side. Okay, like this it already looks a little bit better, and like this we can easily fix that. Okay, this push a little bit more upwards, a little bit more downwards, a little bit more in, and we should be good to go. Yes, this looks good. Everything is aligned to this line. Yes, looking good, looking good. Down here we are looking definitely good. Let's check once again. You really want to make this as good looking as you can, you know? You definitely want to. If you're working for clients, you probably just simply take your time and do this maybe for, I don't know, for 1 hour or something like that, till it really fits and you have no problem anymore whatsoever. This is just also really important, I think. Here for this tutorial purpose, it's just really that you guys understand what I mean and what you have to do, and so on and so on. So this should be important as well. Let's maybe get this point here a little bit more upwards. Maybe this will help. Yes, it definitely does. And then we can move this point here a little bit more in, and then we get the shape we are after, I think. Let's move this even a little bit more upwards. It was too much, I guess. Something like this maybe. Yeah, okay. Let's move this one in. Move it a little bit more upwards, a little bit more in. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere, definitely. Yeah. Looking better than before, that's for sure. And I think nobody will ever recognize it. I mean, it doesn't have to be the perfect for the model, for the perfect exactly millimeter. I mean, if you're an AutoCAD artist and you're designing, I don't know, maybe a motor block or something like that for a new car or whatever, I mean, everything has to be perfect on the perfect millimeter. But when you're working for bigger companies, you get models like this. Let's say you really would work for Apple, which will probably never happen because they're working probably only with bigger agencies. Then you might work for this agency, then you will get the model probably from their AutoCAD file or whatever they are using, Revit or what do I know. You will get the file from them and then just simply work on this, so you don't have to worry about the scale and all the other stuff. But if you're doing it for your portfolio and stuff like that, this little thing where it's here a little bit off, nobody whatsoever will ever recognize that. And bear in mind, as long as you can get away with it, And this is also what they're doing in Hollywood studios. And what do I know? When you can get away with it, just simply use it. There is no, I mean, you always have some kind of deadline when you're working with someone. So you definitely have to say at some point, okay, I can get away with it. The client will not recognize it. I will maybe recognize it, which is most of the time hard enough and bad enough. So you can try to fix it as much as you can. But at the point where you say, okay, now I can definitely get away with it, you just simply have to stop and say, okay, let's go on with the next thing. Okay, so let's see. I think this looks all pretty good. Let's check our shape. Here it's a little bit messed up. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Let's make a test render if this is really just a viewport problem. Yes, it is. So there's nothing in the render. Let me also try Octane render just quickly to see what's really going on. Oh, okay, and here I can see it. That's not good. Something is broken there. This means some point is a little bit too far pushed out, and this is why we get this problem here. So if I push this, if I push this down, as you can see, we get rid of it. As soon as I push this a little bit down, okay, perfect. I think this should be enough, and let's see if the shape is still okay. I guess it is. Let's also, by the way, go select loop selection. Let's go into line mode and go select boundary loop. And let's move this whole thing a little bit to the left. Okay, perfect. And now we should see here nothing anymore. Let me check with Octane once again. Just my render engine that I'm using a lot, to be honest. Yeah, and it's gone. Okay, so we don't have any problems anymore. Let's check our hole down here. Also looking pretty good. Okay, and now we are really ready to extrude this phone again. So let's push this out of the subdivision surface. Let's check this problem here. Even though we didn't see any mistakes while subdivision was on, this is still not something that we want. There is something coming out. Let me check what this is. Probably some point that is not where it should be. Let me delete this here. Okay. I think I just simply had a double polygon or something like that. Let me just simply delete this here. Okay. Let's see if we still have a point here in between. No, we don't. What we could do now, because I did just simply delete that because it was just, I think, too difficult now to find the point and move it in the right place and stuff like that. What we could do now is we could just simply use the bridge mode again, but we don't have a point here, but we need 2 times to bridge that. So what we could do is just simply select this point, go right click, go clone. Clones we can set here to many clones as we want, but I just simply will take one, apply, click on W on our keyboard, no, not W, E, sorry, and then just simply move this new point that we just created, let's say somewhere here in the middle. Let's go bridge, bada boom, bada bam, double spacebar, and bada boom, bada bam, and we are done. Okay, looks good here. Let's check in the subdivision surface if you run into any problems. Nope, looking good, perfect, perfect, perfect. And another thing that we should check if the normals are right. So let's go into polygon mode and hit Ctrl A on your keyboard. And as you can see, everything is yellow except those 2 things. This means that the polygons are flipped in some kind of way. For this model, it would probably not matter, but as soon as you work with glass and something like that, the render engine needs to check where the light goes into the glass and where the glass ends, and this way you can calculate the so-called refraction. And this is kind of important, and you really wanna make sure that your polygons are all looking in the right direction. So we just simply go right click while we have selected all and click on Align Normals. And if this is giving you a weird result, you can also select only those 2 that are not pointing in the right direction, do a right click and click on Reverse Normals. And this will just simply flip them, and you will see everything is good. And as I can see here, I have a little problem as well. So we have here the exact same problem like on the other side. And I think we will just simply fix it the same way like we did before. We just simply delete everything away here that we don't need. Whoop, that was not so good. Yeah, okay. Very good. Let's go into point mode. Click on this point, right click, clone, apply, E for the move tool, and we move it over here. Take our bridge. Perfect. And do it like this. Let's check. Normals are looking good. Let's do it. Pull it in our subdivision surface. And let's see what it's doing here. I think it's looking good. Yes. This curve is something that I still don't like, to be honest. This is really making me a little bit sad here. Why this is not working like it should. Maybe I should move this point just simply up. Yeah, I think this will get rid of this problem here. Yes, it does, and now we have here our perfect curve again, as you can see, looking pretty awesome. On the other side it should too, and down here it does anyway. Okay, perfect. So we have fixed our model. So what we could do now is, of course, now we can really extrude it. I think we got rid of all the problems that we checked down here. No, looking good. Okay, so let's go right click, extrude in polygon mode with Control A, so all polygons selected, and let's extrude it a little bit. Yes, let's click on create caps, and let's pull it into the subdivision surface, and let's make some cuts so we get some sharper edges here. Kniferino, and we make a cut right here and a cut right here, and I think that's already good enough. Maybe we might still need a cut exactly in the middle, so let's hold on shift key or press it once, 50% in the offset, because I think the iPhone 6S is really round here. So let's go select loop selection, select this line that we just created. Let's maybe go out here. Let's go out of subdivision surface. Oh, I would just need to switch into line mode or point mode. And let's get rid of the select boundary loop in the loop selection. And then we can just simply select that. And then if you want to, go to our scale tool, hit the T key on your keyboard. And then we could scale this out here a little bit. As you can see, then we get this nice rounding here. We could pull it in, but that's not the iPhone 6S. So we need to pull it out a little bit, just a little bit maybe. And then get this nice rounding here that we maybe would need. And also this cut is something that we probably will need for the rest of our modeling here that we have, that we set before. And of course we also need to make some cuts here again for our circle, otherwise it's going completely nuts, as you can see. So let's make a cut maybe here, maybe around here, and then a cut maybe around here. And let's do the exact same thing down here, here, and then in between. Bada boom, bada bam. Okay. Looking good. Maybe we need to up the subdivisions here to 4 to get a really smooth circle. Yes. Perfect. And then we can do the exact same thing up here. Okay. So let's do it here again. Okay, looking good. Perfect, perfect. Love it. Looking good so far. Okay, and what we could do now is let's go into the front view. And sorry about that. Let's go to configure. Let's click on back, and let's load the iPhone. And here we just simply need to move this into place now and scale it so it fits our phone a little bit better. And let's make the transparency maybe a little bit less. Okay, maybe something like that. And let's scale this really down. Down, 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 down. Where is that? Oh, keep aspect ratio we should leave on. And let's just simply make this smaller, and let's move it down here again till it fits. I mean, we could also just simply scale our model. It would work both ways, of course. Yeah, we might need here a little bit more. Something like this. And like I said, it's not really about the proportions right now. It really is not. It's just simply we need to learn some modeling here. Because I think the blueprint just simply doesn't have the right proportions, to be honest. Okay, now I will switch off keep aspect ratio and we'll just simply make it larger here. So it fits this a little bit better. Then pull it down. Okay, let's make it in the y-axis also a little bit smaller. Now pull it down. Okay, okay, okay. Alright. So, what I wanna do is, because we see here a lot of lines right now, also some lines that I don't wanna see, let me check if I can maybe, let's go out of the subdivision surface. Oh, I just simply tick it off here. And then let me check here, ISO spams, let me check this box maybe. A box, we don't see any lines anymore. Maybe wireframe, hidden lines. Let's maybe try it with constant shading. Maybe this is a little bit better for us right now. And yeah, let me move up the phone a little bit so that this line that we have here is exactly here in the middle. Let me check my iPhone also as well. Okay, yeah, looking good. Okay, so this is exactly in the middle of the phone, this check. Okay, and let's maybe scale our model a little bit up. So let's just select the plane, go our scale tool, and then just in the y-axis we scale it a little bit, bring it back into place, and this should be perfect. Okay, alright. So let's go into point mode, and now we just simply have to make 2 more cuts. And yeah, then just simply start to move around points and stuff and so on. Maybe I should work here with this line already created up here. So with this line, so that we work with these 3 lines. So with this one, and this one. And then also a little bit with the lines that we have down here. Or we create some new ones. We could create 2 new ones, here and here. The problem is that I think if we do this, that those 2 edges then, if I would make a cut right here, let me show this. If I would make a cut right here, then I think that those edges here, let me highlight this edge as well. That those 2 edges are then just simply too close to each other, and then we might get here a really strange edge where we don't want to have one, because the iPhone is here completely smooth. So this is something that might not work. So I think we will just simply go with the lines that we have already from the cutting before, and we'll try to move them a little bit into place, and we'll also try to reuse those points here that we already have as much as we can. So I think I will move, for instance, those points really far in, something like this, and this, and this. Okay. But I still think we need another cut here for this hole, probably. And we just need to make sure that we are safe if we are cutting through the phone here. That we are not cutting into any holes or anything like that, like before. So let's try to make a cut around here. Let's see how the cutting looks if I would try to make a cut. Okay, pretty good. Pretty good. So let's try this right here. Let's see how the cut looks. If everything went fine, I think it did. Okay, perfect. And then we can use those points that we just created to move this here in place as well. So let's select this point. Select this point here. And select this point, and we get this all into place. Okay, perfect. And then we could try to use those points that we have here as well. I might want to save those points here, maybe for later on. And let's make a cut right here, and we can use those points as well. So what we need now is just a simple reference. So we will drop in a cylinder, bring this cylinder over here, rotate it for 90 degrees. So left mouse click, then shift to let it snap. We bring it in like this. Now we scale it down till it fits our hole here for the headphone jack, which we don't have anymore on the iPhone 7. What the hell, Apple, but yeah, who cares, who cares. The iPhone 6 was, by the way, my first iPhone anyway ever. I don't know, I was really a big Microsoft fan so far, but yeah, not really anymore, to be honest. But that's a completely different topic, sorry about that, really sorry about that. Okay, so let's change the cylinder back to 8. So we get those 8 points that we need, and let's bring it a little bit better here into shape. Everything is here a little bit out of scale, so we just simply have to work with that and live with that. And then we will try to get our points a little bit better aligned. Something like this. Okay, perfect. This point will go down here. Alrighty. This point will go down here. Yes, sir. Then this point will go down here, and down here, and up here. And this point we will use for here. Perfect. Then this point should go down here, of course. This point should go down here. And here now I have, no, I don't have a yes, I do have a problem with the cappuccino. I think this point should just simply stick here in the middle, to be honest. And this point here should go down here. Okay, perfect. Now we just simply go into poly mode, try to delete this here, whatever we created. And now we should already have a hole here. And I hope I did nothing wrong. Even so, this looks a little bit messed up here right now. Yes, this is because I did change the line here before. Okay, right, let's just simply pull it out of the subdivision. Oh, subdivision surface is not even activated. Okay, that's good. Now we need to try to fix this here a little bit. What we can try is to use the iron tool. If we use this here, you can see an iron tool will try to smooth out our geometry, but this also messes up completely our hole. So this will not work for now, as I can see. What we could try is just simply take this point here. First of all, hit Control A and optimize in point mode. And let's select this point here, up here, and let's check the value in the Z axis. So it's minus 85.591. We just simply copy this value, Control C on your keyboard, and then we just simply try to push this in here, 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 or I could just simply, sorry, select all the points. Sometimes I forget even my own tips and tricks. Select all those points, then right click, set point value, Z axis set, we type it in, and then our hole should be there where it should be. Okay, so let's check this. Let's get rid of our cylinder, we can delete this now, and let's enable our subdivision surface, and we should have a hole here. We still have here some problems, but we can also, I think, fix them pretty good. At least I hope so. This is because this is also set in here a little bit. This point here is really standing out, but I think this point is okay. We need to fix the rest, to be honest. I really should have not. I think we need just to go back a lot of steps. We just need to go back before we did cut this hole, because this, it wasn't really a good idea, to be honest, to pull this out here of the iPhone first of all. This middle line that we did pull out a little bit to make it rounder, this wasn't a good idea to make this in the first place, I guess. So we'll just simply get rid of this line. So let's go back. Oh, okay, and these are our undo steps. Perfect, so let's go something like this, where we already made the cuts here in the holes. And then we just simply take our plane and go select loop selection. Let's see if we can melt this here. Doesn't matter. I think I will just simply select this line here and push it back in, to be honest. I think that's probably the best way. Or we just simply get a point value here from this point, say okay. No, this will not work this way. Sorry, forget about it. Forget about it. Completely wrong idea. I tried. I thought I can set a point value for all the points here, but the problem is that the points are in the X, Y, and Z axis, so they will never align properly. So we just simply select this here, and then try to pull this back in as good as we can, and see to get here a straight line. Already looks good, I think. Okay. And I think what we need to do is also we need to fix here some points by hand. Let's take the middle point and let's get the set value here. Oh, this is the middle point, sorry. Let's get this value here. And now we'll just simply select some points. I think I will select this one, those 4 here, or 5 here, those 5, and those 5. Those 5, those 5, and those 5. And then we just simply go set point value, set. Okay, and now we should have a really straight line down here, which is important as well. And I might should do this for the middle points as well. If there are some are changed maybe as well. So let's do the same thing, set point value, it's already typed in, so let's click apply. Okay, looking good. And now we should be ready to go. First of all, let's drop it as subdivision surface, check what we get, but I think we're looking pretty good so far. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, and now we can start out clean. Let's drop in our cylinder again, change it 90 degrees. Let's just simply give it 8 segments. Let's pull it over. Let's just simply pull it down, or scale it down, sorry. And we bring it down here. Okay, let's make it X-ray. Okay, it is X-ray. No, it's not. No, it is. Okay, perfect. And now we can just simply bring it in here and try to... First of all, we need to align our model a little bit better. So that this straight line goes right through this hole, I think. This might be good. Something like this is okay, I think. Now let's change our cylinder again. Scale it a little bit down. Okay, perfect. Alright, so let's go to our plane and let's make those cuts again that we did before. So knife, and let's make a cut right here. A cut right here. And a cut right here. Okay, this should go exactly up here, and it does, and it should end somewhere over here. Okay, that's good as well. And what we could do, because I'm seeing this here right now as well, we could change here some values as well. So let's select this point here. Let's get the set value again. And now we'll just select all the points that we have here. Also the new ones that we did just cut in. And this one till this edge here. Okay, and let's do this on the other side as well. Right click, set point value, and we just simply type in this value. And now they should all be completely even up there, which will help later on with smoothing as well. And I think it looks good. Yeah, now we really have some straight lines here, and it's looking good. That's perfect. And we can do this on the sides later on then as well. Okay, let's see if the cutting did mess up anything, but I don't really think so. We're still looking absolutely perfect here. That's good. Now we can just simply go down and let me get out the plane of the subdivision surface. And now we can just simply move our points that we just created down here and get them into place on our cylinder. And this is just, you know, how I make mistakes as well. As you can see, I don't think that I made a lot of mistakes, but you know, while you're modeling, you just simply see, okay, now this has gone wrong, and now this has gone wrong, and you just simply should get a sense and should see how you can fix this stuff later on. You know, this is just really important. This is also why I don't skip this stuff. I'm not afraid of showing mistakes, because this is just the way it is. I mean, I'm just a normal human being, and you should just simply see, okay, there will be a lot of mistakes when I'm starting out with this stuff, but in the end, as more as you work and as more as you go on, you will just simply see and learn how you can fix this stuff. And I will try to show you as much stuff that I can, and also how you can, yeah, fix your own stuff. Okay, so I think we did this. We can get rid of the cylinder. Let's see it. I think it looks pretty good and pretty accurate. So let's just simply make this here, delete this, and now we can put it into the subdivision surface, and now we have our perfect hole. Yes, sir. Okay. Let's move it out of here once again. I just want to see what's going on. Maybe it's a little bit too far down. Let's just simply go select loop selection, select boundary loop, and we will select this and move it maybe a little bit more upwards, something like this. And that's looking good. I think that's looking pretty good. And we can scale it in a little bit on this axis. Yeah, I think now it looks a little bit more like a good hole. And what we could do now is, because this is a headphone jack, so this is not completely empty, because if we would just leave it like that, you could see exactly through. Here you would also need to build a button and so on and so on, and also this thing here is not completely opened up, of course. But I will show you quickly how you can fix that. So just simply go select loop selection. I mean, this is just one way to do it. And then we go extrude, and then we just extrude a little bit in. Just a little bit. Maybe something for 0.01 centimeters already enough. Something like that. 0.01, or sorry, let's try it with minus 0.01 centimeter. And then we just simply take the scale tool, and with this still selected, we just simply scale this in. Even thought, okay, this is not working right now. Why not? Let me just simply pull the plane out, sorry, so we can see this a little bit better. And let me get rid here of the lines. Display. Hello. Constant shading. Oh, let's go ground shading. Why do I still see my lines? Why? Oh, let me change this here maybe to... No. Huh? I don't get it right now. There should be... Oh, this is because we are in line mode. Okay. So, okay. So we can't get rid of these lines here right now. I mean, we could with some other options, but doesn't really matter. And let's click extrude again and extrude this here a little bit in. Yes, exactly. Maybe something like that. And then we can just simply take the move tool and then move it in like this. And then we can scale it just a little bit back or a little bit bigger. Something like this. Or we could just simply... I think that's about it. I think that's a pretty cool way to do this. And yeah, that's good. And now we have, of course, need to close this, so we can just simply go right click, close polygon hole, and then move to some of the points here around this thing, and bada boom, bada bam, we have a closed hole. What we need to do now is to make some cuts. So knife loop. So we get here a little bit of harder edges. Bam bam. The exact same thing back here. And let's drop this into the subdivision surface, and it looks like this, and we have a perfect hole. And what we could do now, if this is not perfect enough, we can still select this, select loop selection, select this down here, select this down here, and then just simply select this line as well, because this is our cutting line here. So we should move this as well, and then just simply move this back here, and we can change the size of how far we would go in with this headphone jack, and so on and so on. And yeah, this is how you model your headphone jack on your iPhone. Pretty easy if you know how to do it. And yeah, this is how you would now exactly go on with the other stuff down here as well. You would just simply look, okay, if I'm making a cut, you have here so many lines that you can use already. So I would use those. I would use this line here for this thingy and this line for this thingy. And when you need some more lines, like here on this side, just simply make sure that when you use the knife, that you don't going through any holes that we already made on the phone, maybe. So yeah, I think that's enough, to be honest, for now, because you know now the basic sub-D modeling and the basic things that you need to start out with sub-D modeling. It's not really much more than that. It's just simply really knowing where to cut and where you might need a cut, moving points around, and then just simply creating some holes, creating some other stuff, and then always checking your geometry, is everything fine, and so on and so on. But I think this was really basic stuff on how to sub-D model some things. Another thing that I might want to show you where you don't need sub-D model, but I would also sub-D model just to make it, I don't know, look a little bit better when you might render a wireframe or something like that later on. Wireframe is this, of course, you can also render this out, so you can show off your modeling skills on Facebook or whatsoever. Then I would change this to ISO spams, by the way, then it looks a little bit cooler. So for this part here, for this button that is built in the iPhone, I would just simply take, normally I would do it like this, just simply a simple cylinder, and up this here maybe to 90, so I have a perfect round circle, or a perfect round. There is no perfect circle, as you might have guessed, but this is already pretty close. And then I just simply change this here in scale a little bit, and then try to build in my button, bring it in here, and then just simply scale it till it fits. Here would be another ring, to be honest, so we could just simply scale the cylinder even a little bit more in, and then I don't know, from the top view we probably could do this a little bit better, and also change our circle maybe a little bit if needed. Something like this, so we can still create a ring around this whole thing. Let's bring the button a little bit more up. Let's see this from the side view, so we're not going out of the phone like this. So something like this. Okay, perfect. And then we could take our cylinder, just simply hit the C key, go select loop selection, or polygon mode first, sorry, select loop selection, select this here, and then just simply go extrude, which is not working really good right now. This is because there is some kind of mistakes with those cylinders. What you have to do as soon as you make a cylinder editable is you have to go Control A, select all the points, and go optimize. Because if you don't, the cylinder is not glued together, let's say it like that. Because if I select this now and move this, you can see that this is not connected to the cylinder. I have no clue why Maxon did it like this, but it's just the way it is. So leave it in place, go point mode, Control A, then click on optimize. And as soon as you have done this, you can see that this is now glued to the rest of the cylinder, and this is exactly what we need. So now we select this here on the side, go extrude, and bring this here, select this line here, select loop selection, and then we bring this line here a little bit up, like the real ring, and then we can move this in. Maybe we even need to make a little cut here, but I think it's fine. The rest we could do then with textures and shading and so on. But this is how we create our iPhone button. So at least this is how I would create my iPhone button. I mean, you could also sub-D model it. But for a circle, I don't think it's really necessary, to be honest. And yeah, I think you get away with it completely. And as we already know, if you can get away with it, we get away with it no matter what. Okay, so that's absolutely fine. This has nothing to do with being lazy, but it's just the best solution for the situation. So there is nothing, not much to it. It's just fine. It's just fine. Okay, all right. So I would say thanks for listening, and I hope you did jump into sub-D modeling a little bit. If you didn't find it too informative, or you did miss some information, or you want to know more a little bit, or you want to point out a little bit, please feel free to write some stuff in the forum. You have access to it as soon as you have enrolled this course, and write all your questions and everything you have just simply down there, and I will try to make maybe another video that explains it even a little bit more if you didn't get something or whatsoever, or just simply, I don't know, when everything is on your heart, just simply put it in the forum, and I will try to answer as much as I can, and maybe also make a new video about sub-D modeling or whatsoever. Okay, so I think it's time to start a little bit with rendering and a little bit with shading and getting a little bit more into Cinema 4D, and I think this will definitely be the next part, and I'm really happy to show you all the fancy stuff that you can do and create some really stunning and realistic renderings with you guys. So thanks for watching, and see you soon.